soon as I sat down, my camera shut off. I don't know what happened. See if we can get anybody on here tonight. Oh, there's some people on here. Man, as soon as I sat down and went to hit play, my camera messed up. I had to reset it. So I'm a few seconds late. Who is on here tonight? Say hello so I see who you are. Mondo, I bet you he's on. Takes a little while for my system to catch up once I go live. Saddle Tramp. I feel like you haven't been around for a while. Arizona Traditional Outdoors. Justin. Smith Tree Talking Kennels. I'm not real prepared today, I'll tell you that, because I've been in Globe, Arizona, well, close to it, looking for dogs still. Still looking for dogs. So, if I can adjust my camera here. Where it's going to be. Oh, I got to reset some stuff. Hopefully don't shut off. There we go. Let's move it around here. All right. Well, I'm glad everybody's here. Yeah, my cousin James is on. From over there in Gila Bend. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? First, I'm going to get into the pioneering of bringing houndsmen to the spotlight, what we'll call it. Buying dogs? No, I lost dogs. I lost dogs Saturday. I was trying to get a video up today, but it's still uploading, so it won't be on till tomorrow. Me and my son, we went to Globe and did some hunting on Saturday, so the camera's all funky right now. And we got in some real bad area. I did a little live on Saturday, went on real quick. Oh, I'm finally back from the elk woods. Yeah, there's a lot of elk hunters out there. I seen a lot headed out today. But no, we went down to an area that's over kind of by the Salt River Canyon. And you think I'd learn to stay away from the, no, my camera's, it's going to drive me crazy. Got to adjust it all. Got to adjust it for the green screen. And we was going to just take a little easy, go around this one little hill that we've always hunted. We know there's a big tom that's been around there. And we got, instead of going south like we wanted, that, our dogs went north. And what's north is Salt River Canyon and big drop off cliffs. And they got into a spot we just couldn't get into. I mean, it wore us out getting in there. So that's what my son went back. We had lost 2 dogs. It's not like we lost them. We knew where they were on the GPS. Mine was 500 yards away, which don't seem like much, but my son's other dogs were 200 yards away. And it took him 4 hours to cover 180 yards. So, and those dogs, some of those dogs, one of them didn't really want to walk. We had to drag him out of there. You'll see on the video. It's a 2-part video I'm going to be posting. So it's going to be Saturday and I got to move over here. It's going to be Saturday and still trying to adjust my stuff. It's going to be Saturday, or it's going to be 2 parts where we got into some mines and we got the dogs out of the mines. And then I'll have to do another part where we got into the cliffs. So it was one of them trips where you say, I shouldn't have got into dogs. I should have never got into dogs. And then after you sit back, you're like, we'll do it again. And we were already kind of planning a trip back. So he went back Sunday, found my dog. My dog made it back to the corrals where we were parked. And then that was Sunday. Monday, I had a PI case to do Sunday. Monday, I went back, dumped some dog food, checked for tracks. My son, he had to go back to work, and then I figured by today that dog had rested up. I've had dogs lay out there for 2 days and then get a burst of energy, go back. But I've been running all those roads, going over tracks that my tracks, hoping I'd see his tracks on them. So light here, and I just hadn't found a track. So, and there's it's kind of a crazy old guy who lives up there in one of the mines. It's like private property, a little bit of private property up there. And I was hoping, I think he has some solar set up to where his radio comes on during the day. His sun comes out, because we rode through his property and we see not one track, no tire tracks, no footprints, nothing. I was there Monday and the radio was on. I was there today and the radio's on. At his gate, you can hear the radio, so that's kind of weird. Unless it's a ghost. Never know. I remember those nice leaving shirts. Yeah, that's why I always carry a little extra dog food also, because I'll leave usually my hoodie. I always keep my hoodie in my truck. My other dog, I didn't have nothing in my truck. It was kind of warm that day, and it was supposed to be just kind of a short trip, which you know how those short trips go. So, nah, I didn't find my dogs yet. They're steamer. That's what I'm talking about now. I found one. This one's an old dog. So if he was to probably die out there, and his last thing he did was bluff up a lion. It's kind of like a Viking death that died at sea. You know what I mean? I'd rather him die out there. It's my son's dog. So, and he's an old dog, and that dog will go. I think he's still kicking, and he went down river. I think he got down in some cliffs. He couldn't get back up. So every time I get one of them robocalls that say Globe, Arizona, I get excited. So, occurs. My hound days are over. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you. That's why I do it. For people who can't do it, and for people who are smart enough not to do it. I wish I was smart enough not to do it. So, but I'm hoping he shows up. I'm trying to watch comments too, guys. No, it never goes. Never goes. And I know the area. And I knew as soon as I come across those mines, that was my last chance before it got crazy. And then those dogs ended up 900 yards away from that around the mountain. And people think 400 yards, 200 yards, whatever. But when you see the country that I'm in, which I tell myself I shouldn't be hunting in. And I've talked to people and they're like, where you hunt? And I say, sometimes here. And they won't even go back there. So, because it's a tough area. Tough area, but me and my son aren't the smartest, brightest crowns in the box. So we keep going back. So, but the best GPS coordinates is those numbers on their collar. And this is when I regret not having my telemetry on them. So I got to get a bunch of batteries. So I got to get them set off. And this is the reason, because even if he was, lying out there dead somewhere, at least I'd know where he was. We can go get him. But this dog will keep going. You can't get him off a tree. Most of my dogs, you call them off a tree and they know we're going to go to the next one. This dog, you have to drag off the tree. So it is what it is. Hopefully he shows up. My son works tomorrow. So I'm sure he's going to go down there and get in that canyon. Just huff it down in there. We didn't have water. Well, we had water. We didn't have enough water. And this is where Brett Vaughn always sticks in my head when he says, I took my mule for water for my dogs, and I wish I would have. I wish I would have had a pack mule. But the water I had, you'll see, I gave it to my dogs, most of it. And my poor son, man, he was heaving and like passing out, seeing stars almost coming up that canyon. But and then the dog we had to carry out we drug him out, and then he was going, but he just hit every tree and tried to lay down. So we threw him up on the mule, drug him out of there, and it was still a 5-mile ride back to our truck. I do have 2 donkeys. I do need to use them. I need to use them just for food and water. No other provisions, just food and water. And oh, Emily, I have Cabron and I have Emily. Emily probably just follows us around, or Cabron. So I got to get a smaller pack saddle. I only have some bigger pack saddles, but all I need is some water and some food. And we were, my son took a banana and had it in his saddle bag, and it was. He tried to eat it. He popped it open. It's kind of like a pudding pop or something. Real squishy, and he couldn't do it. Project video. Yes, sir. So that was my weekend. It's been my last few days. I had to do a couple PI things. So Sunday and Tuesday, I'd really rather be out getting dehydrated than sitting in a car for 8 hours doing surveillance. Boring. So anybody says a private investigator is fun, it's not always fun. It's usually never fun. It's only about 2 to 5% fun. The rest of it's paperwork and sitting in a hot car and trying to figure out if they're bad people or good people. So, but we did go down the day. I took when I went down Monday, I took my wife and my little twin daughters. They're like 5. They love to go. And had a little, I guess, picnic out there. And today my wife decided she wanted some of those prickly pear apples, fruits, berries, whatever you want to call them. So I don't know if you see that? That's all stained. It's all stained from them stupid berries. And I have splinters. I have little stickers all in my hands. She don't care about it. As long as she gets to make her, what do they call it? They call it leather, fruit leather, or it's a fruit roll up is what it is. She wants to make her prickly pear fruit leather, and she's going to make me some jam. Last time we picked a bunch, I think we got, today, that's all I had was a dog water bucket, which is about 2 gallons, and I had a little ice chest. So we got probably about 3 gallons of, and they're really big and ripe. I mean, they're gorgeous. I should have took a picture and shared it, but no, I'm full of stickers. I had them in my tongue. My wife had to pull them out of my tongue because I just scrape them off and eat them whole. And then, so that's what she tomorrow is making me some from prickly pear fruit roll up and hopefully some jelly and whatever else we can. There's some cactus drink I want to make, and I make mead. So what I'm gonna do, we're talking about taking next week since I'm kind of semi-retired right now, and we're gonna go down and take a 5-gallon bucket, and we're gonna go hit some prickly pear patches, and we're gonna make some stuff. I got like 4 or 5 gallon carboys to make some meat out of. So tunas. You talking for food? So, but that was a good day today. Besides my stickers everywhere, got them in my pants and my shirt, my fingers and my tongue. I have one in my lip. I can still feel. I have one in my mustache. I haven't got out yet. So, I've been trying to get out here to upload. I had to finish editing my video from last Saturday, and it's going to be 2 parts. I'm already at 30 minutes, over 30 minutes, and I'm just to the mines. So I figured I'd cut it, make another part. So tunas, they call them tunas? Tunas? Spanish? Am I just a white guy saying tunas? I don't know what they are, but they're good. So I'll probably be purple pooping. I eat a lot of them. My girls love them, but they don't like the seeds, so I have to shave off the meat for them, and I'll eat the rest of it. That and swirl bears. I don't know if any Louisiana people and all you guys back east probably don't have swirls, but swirls also put out a fruit, and when I'm running back and forth from Phoenix to where I am now, I go through desert, and 90% of the time I'm pulling those fruits off. I go find an ocotillo or an old swirl cactus rib. It's like a skeleton. So, and I'll poke those off. You just beat the ants out of them, and Eat them. The drier they are, the better. They taste like a dried fruit, and they're just really sweet when they're dry. So hopefully that dog turns up. Hopefully someone gives us a call. Or he ends up back at the crowds or runs up one of those roads. A lot of dogs are good after a couple of days. He can hear the freeway. So you can hear the freeway from down where he was. So he may actually head to the west or east and try to get up at that rest area, which would do me just fine as long as he stays off the highway. So they got stairs there so he can get up there. What I'm going to go over today, there's a couple things. I don't know if any of you guys, I'm not going to get into that yet. I was hoping Sonny Topia would jump on. He was going to try to jump on with me today. Or even Nicholas was going to jump on, but he's over there building a dog box. Oh, Nicholas with Hounds on the Run. Hound on the Run. I always call it Hound on the Run. Hounds. But he's building his dog box, and he's doing pretty dang good for a newbie. So what I'm going to get talking about today is the pioneering of, I just listened to a podcast, and I listened to him. I have no beef against them, but there was a few guys on there. I don't know if I want to mention any names too much, but well, I don't care. It was Houndsmen XP. They did a podcast on kind of like bringing the Houndsmen to the spotlight, and they kind of tooted their own horn about it a little bit. But I don't know. There's a lot of other people out there that have done a lot to bring Houndsmen. I mean, we could go back 2001 with Bruce Kennedy, when he started doing all those interviews, Daryl Fry and just all those interviews. I think Warner Glenn. So I think if anybody wants to take some credit, it would be Bruce Kennedy. I mean, the guy, he did pass away back in, and I don't remember when he passed away, but he was the one pioneering all the bringing the spotlight to the Houndsmen that other than that we wouldn't know, and I know old Jason Doobie's getting that full cry back up and running, but I'll be honest with you. When there's a podcast on and it's about those competitions. I know you guys back east like those competitions, but we just don't have them here. I mean, our competition is what I did Saturday. You get out in a bad spot, and it's a competition to get your dogs back safe and you yourself. So, but I know there's a lot of money in those competitions, and I know those guys cover those competitions because that's where the money's at. But I feel like there's a lot of other people that bring, and I don't want to dog on the coon hunters. I coon hunt. I used to. I don't so much anymore. I use coon hunting to train my dogs, and I go after bear and lion. So, but we can hunt them here, and we don't have raccoons like you guys got back east. There's not 30 on a feeder. I have a creek where I live. I have a creek and a private lake, and that thing used to be packed full of coon. And I've treed 8 coon in one tree and 6 in the other under, one set of dogs. But people get down there trapping, and there's just not enough of them to, when everybody starts killing them. I think the whole 12 years I've lived over here in this area and hunted that creek, I killed 2. One was, he was a 40-pound coon, man. He took up half my Suburban hood. So I just don't have the coon. I think if I had more raccoons here, I'd probably hunt them a little more. But for now, I got older dogs, so now I drop my young dogs with those older dogs. So I think I wish I had. There's Brett. Speaking of the devil, I was just about to talk about Brett. Actually, I was talking about people pioneering, bringing the Houndsmen to the spotlight. And Bruce Kennedy was a good one, and now Brett took over for Bruce Kennedy, basically, where he does some interviews, and he took all the Bruce Kennedy stuff and brought them to light. I think he gave some the W, and they used some, and that's just for the pod, the audio. But Brett's putting on the actual interviews, and I really like watching the interviews more than the podcast when it comes to those old hound guys. Brett just today, or I think it was today. Was it today? He just put on an interview with Daryl Fry. Yeah, Daryl Fry on interviews, stories, and tales. So go check that out. I love listening to those old hound guys. Love listening to old hound guys. I don't know why Brett's not on with me right now talking about it. So he's a busy man. All that retirement he got going on. So, but we did our live Monday. That was a pretty good one. We had Sonny Topia on, and we talked a little trash about everything, everybody. Oh, that's right. You were doing that. Yeah, Brett today was interviewing another lion hunter. So, if you guys want to hear it, man, get on his Patreon and send him a super chatter. Because I tell you, it's not free. Fuel. I just got fuel today. It's $4.29. Just the other day it was $3.97. So 30 cents it jumped. So it cost me $75 to go down and look for a dog today, when it only cost me 60 2 days ago. So, but yep. Interviews, stories, and tales. Go check out Brett interviews. He has a whole bunch of them on there. Some good ones. Mike Roots. One of my favorite interviews is Mike Roots. He does. I think he has a Hootie Shaw one on. He has David Heiss. It's not, that's rabbits and coyotes and hogs. So get a shot. I hope it's not dirty shot. 73-year-old man with I gotta put that on there. 73-year-old man with a 2-year-old daughter. That guy don't mess around. Still going. So who you feel sorry for there, Louisiana hunting? Brett, because he's retired and gets to travel around the world? See, I just got back. Let me check in. Louisiana hunting, dressing them up. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. I mean, when he's traveling across there, I mean, you're looking, even his local runs are going to be $100 to do an interview. So, I think I'm lost. That would be great. Yeah. Nope. If it was up to my wife, she'd probably have some more. She actually told me the other day I could get reversed on my vasectomy if she was guaranteed to only have one kid. Likes to have litters of them. She likes to shoot them eggs out all over the place. So, Ohio hillbilly woodworking going on. So yeah, yeah, get on Brett's Patreon. Help him out. Get some gas money to get over to there and do some more. Some of these line hunters, they're about to expire. They're getting past their expiration date, and my favorite interviews, Brett got the Del Lee CDs. And I don't know if you guys haven't listened to him. I believe he's starting to load those on his interview tells or interviews, stories and tells on YouTube. But go check those out, man. Those are for a guy that age to remember. I'm trying to get Sonny on it. Sonny Topia is trying to text me, so he was going to jump on so we can talk some trash about all this. Because I'm also going to go into that Colorado crap, which is, I don't know if anybody's read the literature on it. It's horrible. Just the antis coming in again and trying to be stupid. So, but yeah, I don't know if anybody's heard that Houndsmen XP. They do some good podcasts. Like I said, I'm not really into the competition. I don't know if anybody on here does. It's in that competition. There's some big money in it, but trying to be nice about the competition. It just bores me. I'm just not interested in it. I didn't grow up around it. So we like to just turn our dogs loose and hope we make it back home the next night. There is nobody hounding over us, or like I said, our only reward is either make it back home, get our dog safe, and this is the longest we've lost a dog. I've had a dog 3 days, but I'm telling you, this old dog, I hope his last run was off that bluff at a lion. It was the only other thing it could be with the lion that ain't gonna run like that though. It would be a Cotamande. But I really think we split race this Saturday. I think we had a bear out of the Manzanitas. Bear went to the mine. A bear lost my dogs in the mine. I can still feel a cactus sticker in my mouth. And the dog split, and that old dog, I think he took a lion track, ended up in a bad spot. The other video will be loaded up tomorrow night. The next video, probably, if I get it edited, Sunday night. Got a lot to do this weekend. I'm out of alfalfa. And if any of you have mules or horses or goats or anything you feed alfalfa, I don't know what it is back east, but up where I live, they're trying to get $25 a bale, and I get it for about 12 to 15. I just got to travel down, and I'll haul a squeeze or two up in my Tundra. So do companion hunt. It was ruined coon hunt. I'm just listening to all the podcasts. I hear about how a lot of those guys are ruining their breeds because they want speed more than they want, I guess, efficiency, trailing. They want speed. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I don't understand those coon competitions. I go to some hound trials that are local. We have about 4 meets a year. More just kind of good time. I've won a couple bed rolls, which I'm happy. I won a backpack. Well, my wife did, but I took it. And then just for the kids to get out, catch crawdads, guarantees me to go camping 4 times a year, even though we've been a lot this year. Yeah, see? Lost a lot of tracking. That's what I hear. And I'm not in the papers either. I know a lot of people get mad, and I've been called a backyard breeder by a couple people on the internet, and I have about as thick a skin as you can probably find on a person. I really don't matter to me because, I don't like red bones. I got a red bone. I don't like black and tans. I have black and tan in my stuff. Everybody has that color preference, but in the end, if that dog works, if you gave me a standard poodle and it put his nose down and it would catch a bear, lion, I'll run it. I don't care. And I'll breed with my other dogs, So, oops, someone trying to jump in here, but you have your own blood. I have me at old Sonny in.
What's going on?
Sonny was on Monday and he loved it. So I'm like, cool. He's on the night because he's the only guy that will talk some shit with me. So, but you froze up on it. Okay, so what we're talking about is I was talking about the coon trials, and I was actually getting into Houndsmen XP had a podcast, and they said they kind of tooted their own horn. Oh yeah, they tooted their oh, that is a little bit, saying kind of like they pioneered bringing the Houndsmen to light. But I started talking about Bruce Kennedy, the guy who did all those Elgato interviews, and then I got in the Brett Vaughn, who took all of those interviews and snagged them up, and is still bringing them out.
Well, he would go around. He'd go around and interview all the greats.
The guys that were, and I was just saying that a lot of these guys, those guys are long gone. there's guys now that are about to be long gone. And now we got Brett Vaughn that's going out there and doing the same thing, but a lot of these, everybody wants his interviews, but geez, he's spent up to $500 just traveling to Oklahoma or traveling somewhere to get these interviews. So,
Yeah,
I tell people,
I've watched them and they're pretty good. I mean, he's interviewed a lot of the big time dry ground lion hunters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I did a podcast with Houndsmen's XP at Bear Camp one year, about 4
I
years
remember
ago.
that.
All these podcasts are just blah blah blah, in my opinion.
Well,
But it gets the word out. It does.
Well, it does, and then
But a
like
lot of his stuff is coon hunting and shit like that.
well, that's what I was talking about. Arizonans, New Mexicans, all of us back here in Nevada, we're just not coon trial competition people.
Yeah. So, that's crazy that you were talking about Houndsman XP and I'm wearing a Houndsman XP shirt.
I know. I'm not trying to talk crap about them, but there's just a lot more out there than them. You know what I mean? I think if you're going to toot your own horn, you got to get back to the roots. And why can you toot your own horn? Just like Full Cry. I hope Jason takes that Full Cry and incorporates a little bit of the big game stuff in it. Talks a little bit about Arizona, Nevada, and then there was what is that? Blood Roots? What is that guy's name? Gosh dang it. I don't remember, but he did some big lion video and he kind of talked about the greats and where they were, but he didn't really jump in on Arizona, New Mexico. Like he's talking about Colorado, Utah for the great lion hunters. And I'm not saying there's no great lion hunters over there. You know what I mean?
That's different.
But there's great lion hunters there. But I believe there's some badass lion hunters that came out of Arizona, old timer. Look at Warner Glenn. The guy's 87 years old, I think now. Still jumping on a mule.
Some of the best. You look at the Lee brothers. They weren't out of Nevada. They were out of Arizona, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why it's also saying is Brett. He got all of those CDs from the guy's nephew or whoever he got them from.
Right.
And W put them on a little bit, but he's putting them on now on his YouTube, so you can go check them out on the interviews, stories, and tales. And that guy, have you listened to any of those?
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
I would hope I'm 80 years old and can remember the detail. None of us will never probably have the stories he'll have or had, but dang, to remember those stories.
That was pretty cool stuff. I'm glad someone captured it. I have the book, Life of the Greatest Guide from the Lee brothers, and Dale, he actually autographed mine. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think Brett just sent us a picture. He had to autograph something, I think, of Del Lee. I think it was Del Lee. I don't know if Brett's still on. Yes, I got merch on my YouTube page. That's what I'm wearing right now. One of my hats.
Well, you better send me some merch. That way I can wear it.
I will. I know. Get rid of that Houndsman XP shirt.
We're going to have to trade some merch.
I know. I got your sticker on my truck.
So. I know.
But
hell yeah.
No, there's a lot of people that brought the Houndsmen. I can't even name them all, but I think Bruce Kennedy was probably one of the, but look, I'm already getting shit for it. Because I didn't give you no merch.
I can't see none of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're on your phone. It says, but Sonny isn't wearing it.
I was approached, not approached, but I was messaged by the guy that has Gundogger podcast, and I'll do a podcast with him next week.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't do a lot of podcasts, of the Western Houndsmen. And I said, well, I can get you a lot of those guys, because that's the Western Houndsman's a big part of the Houndsman community.
Oh yeah, that
over there you got your guys over there from in the back east that are coon hunters and bear hunters, but they're not lion hunters, because there's no lions there. Well, there is, but not like what we got.
Yeah. I think why I started Anecdotal Houndsman is because I want to get hold of the young guys that are in it. You know what I mean? I mean, there's the the problem with the hounds world, and you know this better than I do, is it's like junior high. They won't be your friend if you talk to this guy, or they won't be your friend if you're hunting with this. You know how it is. I don't know if that's how it is with the coon hunting community, but I know lion hunters are probably the worst. Bear hunters probably rate, I want to say, second on that. But
It's because everybody's jealous of everybody instead of, we all enjoy the sport of hunting and of bear hunting or lion hunting, and it has nothing to do with the kill.
yeah,
All of us like to brag about our dogs, and when because I mean, if you got a good dog, you like to talk about them, but it's just crazy how a lot of guys, and I might be guilty about this sometimes too, to bring a new guy bring a new guy into your
yeah,
to your realm, is because when you're new, everything you catch you kill. So that's the thing that always makes me standoffish, because we've have made it to, I mean, we've all became pretty good friends, and we all kind of on the same page as far as killing, not killing females, whether it's lion or
hmm
bear. And then your new guy, he catches a lion and he's all pumped up, and I get it. But it might be an 80-pounder and he kills it. What the hell?
yeah. Especially
And
their
I
first
understand. I
lion.
mean, I get it. I get it. But I mean, I just want those guys to know that it's more than just a kill. It's a sport that we treasure. Because there's nothing worse than for me myself. I'm an outfitter, so there's nothing worse than you closing down your quota in the week. You know,
Yeah, especially bear.
that's
And
what I'm talking about. Bear.
I'm not a big killer on stuff anyways. I do a little guiding. I'm not big time, but and I know the people that come in out of state and run
Oh,
around with their 20 minions and whack everything. I was there when they shot a small bear. I treed that bear
right,
with him, and he let him
right.
kill it. And I was just like, I've had bears I had a one-legged lady up on Lake Mountain with a 400-pound sow. This thing was ridiculous. I threw a rock at that sow to get her to turn, and it hit her belly, and it waved like the ocean. She was just fat and big. Beautiful sow. If she would have had some gray on her face, if she would have looked old, if she was missing some of those teeth or something, maybe. But
But in something like that, in a situation like that, because I take a bunch of vets and and terminally ill kids, and
mhm.
like this year, I killed the smallest bear I've ever killed in my life, but the circumstance it had to be done,
I waited
and,
to give you crap about that too.
I know, and it was a bore,
But yeah,
you know, and I mean, I didn't want to, but the circumstances kid has, he can't walk, and he's 2 years to live, and he wanted it, and what do you tell him? No, it's just hard for me not to, you know.
yeah. No, I've done those hunt of a lifetimes, and I had a kid that was supposed to be in remission. Comes out, he could barely walk. If we would have got a
Well, I just got
100-pound lion, 80-pound lion, he probably would have shot it.
right.
But
And I'm
you
all
don't
for
know.
that. I'm all for that,
Mhm.
because if it puts a smile on a guy's face and it makes a little bit of memories with his folks, hell, do it, man.
And that could be the last thing he did in his life.
Right, right.
So how are you going to deny him that?
I've done a handful of the hunt of a lifetimes, and I've done a couple terminally ill kids through my organization. And I'll tell you what, if that doesn't move you, then nothing in this world ever will, because it's pretty
Well,
sad.
there you go. Sonny, tell us how you got hooked up with the vets. They weren't on the Monday Night Live. You have to tell that story kind of again, probably. So you
Okay,
have Sportsmen for Heroes,
yeah, and
Sportsmen
it's
for
a
Heroes.
sportsman. So
Yeah.
it's a nonprofit. We take wounded vets and mobility impaired kids. It's a 501c, and the way I started it is after 9/11, I wanted to join the military, and I was married, and I had a young baby, and the wife told me that I wasn't going to join it because I
Mama
wasn't
said
going to.
no.
Mama said no. And I mean, she was. I mean, it could. She had a right reason to say no, but and after that, I kind of always felt guilty. So I always wanted to figure out how I could give back, to these brave men and women that are up there standing up for our country, and so I started donating hunts. So the first guy I ever took was a double amputee, and I didn't know what IEDs were. I didn't know anything about. I knew freedom had a price. I just didn't know the price. And until I started taking these vets, man, the price was unreal. And I just
The
never could.
price, it's not always physical. The price
Not always
mentally.
physical.
I
And
bet you
it's a lot mentally. I mean, yeah,
you can
guys have.
heal physically.
Mhm.
That mental, that's where you come in probably 90% more than anything.
The thing about it is, a lot of these guys, they went in when they're out of high school, 18 years old, and you're wearing around, you're still, you might came back and, you're retired or whatever, you're still fighting that war, man, in your head.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And a lot of them, turn to suicide. And I've had a lot of them do that, but, at the end of the day, my organization, I ask them why do you got to think, and what a lot of them say, and I can relate to it, is that in the military, had a structured, uh, program. So they knew, what they were doing from day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. Well, whenever they get out of, when they become a citizen, they don't have a purpose anymore. As far as they don't have a job. People think they're different because, they might have a little PTSD and they think a little different. And so they don't like to go out in society. A lot of them hide out in the basement or stay in their house on a couch, and they don't have, regular um, communication with the outside world because they feel that they're different and they don't want to feel different. So that's why a lot of them kind of stay locked up into themselves. And what's good about my organization is whenever they come out with me, they get out of that situation, even if it's for about 5, 6 days, whatever they are with me, because I put them to work, and it's people say, you put them to work. I'm like, yeah, I do, because they have to feel like they have a purpose, whether it's putting colors on dogs or watering the dogs or packing this meat or holding this leg or whatever it may be. As long as they're doing something, they feel like they have a purpose, and all that non-purpose stuff goes out the wayside. And it's the littlest things in the world that makes a big difference, that people don't realize that.
Well, everybody thinks you just do hunting. We talked about that the other night too, but you do everything, whatever, even guys that don't want to hunt.
Right. We do fish trips. We do whitewater rafting. We do cattle drives. We do shed hunting. We do photography. We do ATV rides. We do, because not everybody's a hunter, which, that's what my main thing is. But, if they don't do hunting, let's figure out something else.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you out in the mountains, and let's enjoy and enjoy the mountains and forget about whatever you're dealing with.
You even get some people who get back and just help you out. They just show up to help you out.
A lot of them, a lot of guys come out on a hunt with me, especially because I have the bear camp, and the bear camp is probably one of my favorite things to do, is because, we have a big camp, and, we have, the vets that are there, and then I have volunteers, and then, we hunt on Friday all day, and then on Saturday we hunt in the morning, and then on Saturday afternoon I kind of have a meet and greet where I invite anybody that wants to come out, and we have hamburgers, hot dogs, we have, desserts, and we have food, or we have egg rolls, we have a bunch of stuff, and then we bring out a band out in the woods, and it's the greatest It's the greatest time, and when some of these vets experience that, they're like, I want to be part of it. Even if I'm not the hunter, I want to come out and be a part of it. So they come out and they be volunteers, guys that just go with us out in the woods, or, gather wood or help cook or whatever it may be. They want to be part of it. So, I mean, every year it gets bigger and bigger. And I think this year, just from volunteers and everyday people that were in camp, I think there was like 55.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Good deal. How could someone donate to your organization?
So we have a donate on our website, and it's www.sportsmen for heroes, and heroes is plural, but you spell it like this: HEROES at or sportsmenforheroes.com,
I
and
threw it up on the screen.
that's our web page. And there's a donate button there, and like I told you on Monday, and I told everybody else, and everybody's patriotic when they're sitting down to say a little blessing or something at the dinner table, but make a difference. And even if it was $10, even if it was $5, it don't have to be a lot of money. Every penny helps, because I have 5 board members in my organization, and I'm the president and the founder, and not one of us get paid. Not even myself. I don't get paid nothing. The only thing that the donations go for is hunting tags, gas, and meals, and if we have to fly people out. Other than that, there's nobody
All
gets
out of
paid.
pocket. All out of pocket.
All out of pocket. Yep. True.
Louisiana Hunting said thanks.
Well, no problem, man. It's the best money I ever spent. To be honest with you. I'll tell you a little story that was kind of cool, and I'll make up this guy's name. Wasn't really his name, but we'll call him Jay. Well, anyways, another vet had reached out to me and said, hey, I was on a fishing trip with this young Marine, and he said he kind of needs a program like yours. He said his dream hunt is to go on an elk hunt, and he said he's kind of a little bit messed up, and he would kind of he would benefit by your organization. So this guy gave me the phone number, and he gave it to me back in July, and I did have an elk tag to give, but I always want to find the right person for that tag, because there's some people that don't have time. There's some people that need it like right now. So
there's some people who are posers too.
Oh yeah.
Well, that gets into that PTSD thing. Some have it, some pretend to have it.
Right. So anyways, he gave it to me, like I said, middle of July. And I looked at it and I didn't think nothing of it. Now it's bear season. I think it's the second week of bear season, and I'm driving off the mountain hunting bears. And something tells me, call that number. And I hadn't thought about that number at all. Not since the day he gave it to me. But something in my head said, call that number. So I went filed through my phone, and I got that text message, and I seen the number, and I called it. And it rang, and it rang, and it rang. And it never went to voicemail, was the crazy thing. But, I was fixing to hang up. It kept ringing, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like forever. Somebody picks up. I said, is this Jay? And he says, yeah. I said, my name's Sonny Topia. I heard that your dream is to go on an elk hunt. He says, yeah. I said, well, your dream just came true today. What do you mean? I said, I have a nonprofit. I take wounded vets, blah, blah. I gave him the whole spiel. He's like, this is a joke. And I said, it's no joke, bro. Here's where you need to be. Here's the dates, blah, blah, blah. Here's the tag. I got it. You want to come or not? So this guy, now he's jacked. He's like, yeah, I want to come. And, this guy would call me once every 2 days. I mean, with the dumbest questions, he's just excited. Well, anyways, so this guy shows up. And, I never meet these guys. I just talk to them on the phone, and I read their bio and whatever. But I don't know them. This guy shows up to my house, and this guy looks like Charles Manson. I mean, he has a big beard and he has long hair, and I'm a big believer in in prayer and in everything that I do. I may not, I always include God in my life, and I pray before we eat a meal and whatnot, whatever. Well, anyways, I wasn't personally guiding this guy because I had a different vet. And so when the other vet that I was taking killed out, I started taking this guy, and I got to hunt with him the last 2 days. He stayed at my house, so I got to, I got to mingle with him, but I just, I didn't get to mingle with him like on a hunting basis because you're with him the whole time. So anyways, in the last 2 days, we're hunting, and this guy would miss everything he shot at. Well, anyways, the last evening, we went to this place that I needed to find a bull, and I found one. And I set him up, and I called this bull into 22 yards, and this guy airballed it. And he shot a foot over this bull, And so I got to him, and I'm like, "Gosh, dang!" I said, "You sure did miss that one." He's like, "I didn't even think I aimed." I was just so excited. Well, anyways, we got to talking about life and this, that, and the other, and which was cool. And so whenever the next morning he's going to leave, I said, "Hey, let me tell you something, Jay." I said, "Whenever you leave," I said, just so you know, that your time with Sonny Topia is never over." I said, "My phone's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I promise you." So a week went by, and then I started getting calls at midnight, 1 a.m, 2, and it was always him. And he would tell me, "Hey, man, I'm having a bad day." And I'm like, "Let's talk about it." And it's crazy that when these guys have a bad day, you talk to them for 5 minutes and they're back to normal. So he would talk to me. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. I mean, I would always answer. And one day he calls me up, and this has gone on for about a month. One day he calls me. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I look at my phone, and it's him. And I said, "Oh, this guy don't ever call me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon." So I answered it. And he says, "Hey," he says, "I got to tell you something." I said, "What's that?" And he said, "You saved my life." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you because I want you to know this." And he kept on pausing, and he'd go, pausing. And I said, "Just spill it. Tell me what's going on." He said, "Remember that day that you called me and offered me this elk tag?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I had walked into my house, and my wife and kids were gone. Walked in the bedroom. I got my gun out of my dresser, and I walked into the garage. And the moment that you called, I had the gun in my mouth, and I was ready to pull the trigger." And he said, "Just as I was getting ready to pull the trigger, the phone rang, and it was you." And he said, "I looked at it, and I said, I don't know anybody from Arizona, so I ignored it, but it kept ringing."
Mm-hmm.
And he said that changed my life. He said, "Because I came out there, and I had the greatest experience." And he says, he says, "I know your family loves you." He said, "But I didn't know that a guy from Arizona that didn't know me from Adam loved me the way you do and gave me the support." He says, "You supported me more than anybody on this planet in a short amount of time." And I said, "You know what, Jay, I'll tell you this." I said, "I'll support you from here on out. I promise you. And if you ever have any issue, you call me. I don't care what time it is. You call me." So this guy would call me and call me and call me. And, I just know that my organization, I don't know how many other people was in that situation that I called, but this one I know for sure because he told me, and it could have been others that don't open up and tell you. But, it really it really makes me proud that, that I got to save one guy's life. And it was crazy how it all worked out, and I think it was the man upstairs made me call at that certain time, because why else would I call at that moment? And when he screened the call, it would never screen. It just kept ringing, so I'm proud of that, I really am. Making a difference is huge.
It is, and sometimes it don't take much. A phone call,
Right?
one
A
phone
phone
call.
call. One phone call.
Well,
Right.
Louisiana Hunting gave us a super sticker, $10. He threw $10 up there.
Heck yeah, man.
I tell you, if anybody wants to throw a super sticker up, I'm not real familiar with them, but if you guys want to throw it up, you'll all go to Sportsmen for Heroes today. If anybody
Awesome.
wants to donate that way, it'd be a little easier.
And
So-
if we got any vets out there, you know, and,
that's
or
where I'm
local-
going with that, Sonny. There's a guy. Hang on. Here you go. Ask him to go over the qualifications again.
just tell him to get on my email, email me off of the website, and tell me what, you know, just give me his name and his address and all that stuff, and I'll send him the paperwork.
What's
So-
that? Do you know that email offhand?
It's sportsmenforheroes@gmail.com.
Go ahead.
So what the qualifications, like on the bear hunt, I can pick whatever because it's not a donated tag. But with Arizona and even New Mexico, some of these guys that draw tags, they can, if they can't make it, you know, on the hunt for whatever reason, they can donate their tag to a nonprofit that qualifies through the Arizona Game and Fish, which I do. But you have to, in order to receive those tags, you have to qualify by their guidelines, and it's basically a champ. You have to be a champ, basically. So what I send you, if the guy wants to, you know, see if he qualifies, I give him Dr.
champ.
Zephyr.
Explain that champ real quick. That's a champ tag, right? Like a permit.
It's basically yeah. So basically, what it is I would send you this document that you would have to get. It has a bunch of qualifications and stuff, and you would have to have your doctor sign it. And if your doctor signs it, then you're good to go, and we'll put you in the system. So what I require is your doctor to sign that, a copy of your DD 214, and a bio of your military career. You know, and I mean, and I'm gonna be straight up. You know, I'm a straight up dude. You know, I'm. If a guy gives me a half-ass bio, that means that he doesn't really want to do it. Because I want to know. I don't have to have every detail on the planet, but I want to know, because there's some guys that write a bio, you know, this is what happened to me, and you know, I lost a leg, and after that, you know, I have a family, and this is what I'm doing now, because that helps me pick a vet that needs it more than a different vet. You know what I mean? If I had it my way, I'd take them all at one time. But, you know, there's some that need it worse than others. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Missy,
So that's
Missy donated you $50.
Thank you, Missy. It means a lot. You know, I mean, I hope you guys all go, and on Facebook, our pages, we are Sportsmen for Heroes on Facebook. Go like our page. There is a Sportsmen for Heroes page on there, but I got locked out of that one, so I had to make a new one. So that's why it's called We Are Sportsmen for Heroes.
Let me type this up here. That look right? We are Sportsmen for Heroes.
Yep. That's it.
Facebook. Check out his Facebook. We are Sportsmen for Heroes on Facebook. Like I said, anybody who wants to super chat us tonight will go to Sonny's Sportsmen for Heroes.
You know what would be cool, bro? If you would go live and let's talk to a couple vets. You know, I mean,
yeah.
Let's talk to some of them. Let's hear their story.
Yeah. If you have anybody in mind, we'll get them on.
Yeah. Let me. I do have some guys. I mean, I have plenty of guys.
Definitely get them on.
Yeah. Heck yeah. You know, let's give them all the support we can.
There. Good.
Huh?
Right.
How many people are on?
Yeah, you get some lined up, and we'll definitely get them on.
How many guys do you got on tonight?
Be a lot of fun. Get some of them out there to tell us the stories.
How many guys do you got watching your?
There's 21 watching us right now. It goes up and down. It goes up and down. Right now it's 21. Sometimes it goes up to 30. I think Monday we had like 40, over 40.
That's cool, man.
People bounce in and out.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
You have a PayPal?
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, this is only like my fourth or fourth one. Uh-oh. Ohio cool. Hillbilly. Another $50 for you, Sonny.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. How come I can't see those names on
Ohio
there?
hillbilly.
If I was
Can you
on
see the comments?
I can't see comments.
Can you see comments? Go up to your, I think it's on your top right screen, and there's a little comment button. If you hit those comments, it's like a little top right or top left. If you push that little comment symbol, it should pop the comments up. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Looks like a little, just a little, it has the little pointy cloud.
I'm blind, so they call me the blind guide, bro.
Yeah, I'll
can't see
post
shit.
it. I post it on the screen. I'll try to. So
maybe I can.
now you need Nicholas.
I can see yours in there.
I tried to get Nicholas on here.
Who's Nicholas?
Someone said we needed Nicholas. I tried to get Nicholas on here, but he's building his dog box right now.
Who's Nicholas?
All right.
Huh?
Oh, any other questions for Sonny?
Who's
He's he was on last night. He's a little short-haired guy, the guy with no beard.
Oh yeah,
remember
yeah,
we was talking about a smart guy last night?
The Bobcat hunter. The Bobcat hunter.
That's Nicholas.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. That's our techie guy.
Right. That's cool.
Oh, thank you, sir. Keep up the good work. God bless you. That's from Ohio Hillbilly.
We can all make a difference, I mean, it's just not me, I'm just the lucky one that got to, that took this. If you guys look at my logo, and I'm sure you can see it somewhere, but that logo was just crazy. So I had my uncle draw me a logo when I first started my organization. And it was just kind of like an American flag with, two kids actually. And the logo that I have now, one night I was asleep and it woke up at 2 a.m. and my girlfriend said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "This guy came to me in a dream." And I said, "This is what he looked like. He had a 5-hour shadow. He had a beret on. He was ripped out. And, he come out of the smoke and he walked straight out of the smoke and he looked me in the eye and just stared at me and walked off." Well, I had an artist draw that guy and that's my logo. But I mean, he had both legs, but I put an amputee on one side. But whenever he came out, he had his boots were untied, his dog tags were showing, and he had veins in his arms, and but he looked like he had came through the depths of hell. But I couldn't draw it with they couldn't draw it with making it look like he had a 5-hour shadow, so he had a beard. But that's the guy that came to me in a dream. So that's the logo I drew, which was pretty cool.
Let me here. I think I can. I'm gonna try this. Can you see it? No, hang on. I'm trying to share a screen. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's coming.
There it is.
Right there. That dude came to me in a dream. His boots were untied. He was in camouflage. He actually had a green shirt on, but I put black because green didn't work out for some reason or other. But of course, he wasn't holding a bow and a gun, but it was that dude.
There you have it. There's the story of Sportsmen for Heroes.
Yeah. People think I'm BSing when I'm telling them that. I'm like, no, that's the God honest truth, 100%. It is.
Well, a lot of people are very close-minded, whether you're religious or not. Well, no matter what you believe in, everybody has their God, but there's still a lot of closed-minded people that think that it has to come over a text for you to believe it, or it's not true till it's on. It's not true unless it's on Facebook, right?
Right. One day I'll get you.
You have PayPal?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Someone just asked me.
Yeah, we do. What is it, babe? Shane Tunnel? What's our PayPal?
It's connected through the website.
So if you go to the website, you can click on donate and it'll take you straight to that.
That is sportsmenforheroes.com there, Johnny.
Yep. Yep.
So just go to his website, Johnny.
And here's the thing.
Sportsmenforheroes.com.
Just like I told those guys on Monday, if you have hunting ground and you live, let's just say you live in Kentucky, and you think you might want to share your time with a vet, all you have to do is, if you want, you can host a hunt for Sportsmen for Heroes. We'll send you out the vet, and if it costs anything, food and all that stuff, we'll pay. You send us the receipts, we'll pay you back for all this expense. If you want to host a vet,
Good deal.
Is
there a form? Is there a form or something, or can they just email you and say, "Hey, I'm in Kentucky"?
Right. Yeah, I do have a form.
Is that on your website too?
I'm not sure, but just have them email. I still got to work on some of my my emails or my website stuff as far as forms, and I'm just a hunting guide. I don't know sick 'em from suck 'em when it comes to computers or tech or anything. I don't know none of that shit.
Email them. The email's up on the screen. sportsmenforheroes@gmail.com.
Yep.
Anybody wants to host a hunt in another state,
or if they want to nominate a vet, or if they even want to nominate a vet.
Oh yeah, you can nominate.
Yep,
a lot of those vets kind of have to be pushed to get out there, get out of there.
Yeah, they do. And I get it, but once they come out, it's like they go home a different person. It's great. It's great.
All righty. Hey, do you hear enough about you, Sonny?
Okay.
you hear about that Colorado thing?
What?
Oh, the ballot initiative they're putting forward. Let me just share this on the page. Let me try to share my screen here.
About hunting dogs?
The whole mountain lion. You're probably not going to be able to read it on your screen. But
I think I'm pretty sure I see that. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's the initiative 91. I'll read just the first paragraph or two. The voters of Colorado find and declare that any trophy hunting of mountain lions, bobcats, or lynx is inhumane, serves no socially acceptable or ecologically beneficial purpose, and fails to further public safety. Trophy hunting is practiced primarily for the display of an animal's head, fur, or other body parts rather than for utilization of the meat. Moreover, it is almost always conducted by unsporting means, including but not limited to using packs of dogs with electronic devices to pursue and entrap affected animals in places from which they cannot escape in order to achieve the kill. Therefore, it is appropriate and necessary to ban trophy hunting of mountain lions, bobcats, lynx in Colorado.
Let me,
They love
the thing about these guys that don't know anything about anything. They speculate. Okay, people do eat mountain lion. Okay, and you do have to thin the herd, so to speak, because if not, they kill all your deer, they kill all your elk. Look at California. And they start killing hikers, and and I often thought about this. I've talked about this to a lot of guys. I wondered if one of those guys were hiking, and I hope this never happens. Don't get me wrong. I don't never want this to happen. But if a mountain lion would attack one of their kids or their wife or their husband, and the result didn't come out good, I wonder if they'd still think that.
Some might wake up. I was out bear hunting when it was open archery season. I ran into a couple groups of people, one older couple. They said, "Are you going to be right here?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to rig around this mountain." Oh, we were gonna hike here, But after about a 30-minute conversation with those people, they're like, I never knew that about hounds. They think it's just whack and stack.
Right.
They're like, I didn't, I'm like, dude, I let go more than I ever catch. I said, there was years that I treated like 20, 30 bear and killed 2 or 3.
Right.
And they were ready to be killed. I said,
right.
What you guys hear on social media is probably inaccurate. And then another group of guys, same thing, talk to them for about 30, 40 minutes. They're like, really? So you have to take the time. You got to take the time. And some people you can't argue with, but if they're going to talk, I had 3 people. I was over there hunting. I started a bear. Guy shows up and he's an archery hunter. He said, "Are you chasing a bear?" I said, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "Well, there's some guy seen a bear up here." I said, "Oh, yeah, it's probably the same bear. I don't know." I said, "Oh, look, they're treed. If you want to come on in with this, come in." I said, "Man, you could probably shoot it too if it's big enough." I said, "I won't let you shoot a small one or a female sow." And he is a little one. He walked in. That guy had never been to a tree, never been behind hounds, and he loved it.
Right.
I said the best part, and most everybody here is a hounds person, but if you could go out and just grab someone off the street, bring them to run hounds with you, and if you're lucky enough to get a good race that's not too short, not too long, you can walk into the tree that's not too bad, and they get to walk up and see that bear in the tree. I get excited years and years and years later. I don't even care how big it is by then. I'm glad my dog's got one.
Oh yeah.
And you're always excited to see what it is, whether it's big or small.
Right. Oh yeah.
And then that's what it's about. Walking into that tree. It's always about walking into that tree.
I've done this twice in my life. I was bear hunting and I rigged and I dumped out and I got to the tree and there was a cougar in the tree. I've only done that twice, but every time that the dogs are marking treat on the GPS, I'm walking in and I'm like, wonder if it's a lion. You always think big bears, small bears, south cubs, lion.
Yep.
It's always like a mystery, and that mystery is the excitement when you're walking in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it is.
It's something that you can't explain to somebody that's never done it, but to me, it's a mystery.
It's like being a kid and you walk out in the living room the first time at Christmas morning.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
See what you have,
Right.
and it's just as bad if you walked out in the morning and there was nothing under the tree, you'd be butthurt. That's the same thing you get when you're walking into a tree and it jumps, or it's just, it jumps, or it's, I don't know. I've never really trashed nothing in a tree except a mistletoe, big black blob of mistletoe. And I was hunting with Elizabeth Bolin. She had this dog barking in the bottom by itself. I walked to see where my dogs were treed. I walk over there, and there was a big black blob in a tree. And I think that bear ran by. One of the dogs looked up, seen that mistletoe nest, and they started treeing on it. Took my dogs back down. Elizabeth says, "Man, I wonder what my dog's treed on, or why is she barking?" She walks over, this is no lie, 40 yards from the truck. We got dogs everywhere else. And it's one dog treat on a bear 40 yards from the truck.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep.
If most houndsmen don't have a story like that, then they haven't done a lot of hunting, because I've walked my tail off and treat some bears that were, or lions just real close to the truck. Or I've dumped out on a lion track and made a huge circle, and they treat 100 yards from the pickup. I just made a big circle.
Yep. Done that. Walked up the steepest part of the hill with my cousin, and that bear ran 30 yards from my truck. I'm like, yeah, dang.
Yeah.
But these people don't understand. They're going into talking about how inhumane, and they have to use electronical devices to make it sound scary, and they'll bring up shock collars for the electronical device instead of GPS to keep the dog safe. So, dogs barking?
I got some pups. Like I said, I got some dogs that roam free when they're pups.
I can't hear them.
Well, their little pups are trailing up, and do you hear them?
I can't hear him.
They're trailing up the canyon here. They're hell. That damn dog was last night was bayed up on it. You know where I live. That mountain.
Yeah.
There was a dang dog up there bayed up. Should have just before I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night, and it was bayed or treed for. I almost went up there to walk up there to see what the hell.
Just to see what it is.
Just to see what,
See what Santa Claus brought you.
Right. If it wouldn't have been 10 o'clock at night, I would have done it. You know, not that, you know, I was getting ready to go to bed. So I was like,
Yep.
so I sat there on the porch and I listened for a while and was just hammering. And I thought, no, you know, and I walked away a happy man because they were treating on something.
Yeah.
Whether it might have been a squirrel, it might have been a squirrel. It don't matter. Huh?
Tree just went to their Facebook page and it was very easy to find. That's Smith's Tree Talking Kennels.
Oh,
Good deal.
thank you.
Oh, he called your dogs trashy for treeing lions instead of bears. Louisiana hunting. Sonny has trashy dogs too.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has a trashy dog at one point in their life, no matter
Or
how old
or
it is.
multiple points in their life.
You know, I've had dirty rig, and I'm like, go to let him down, and it was a different rig, and he had rigged on a deer one time. I'm like, where did that even come from? You know, got excited, but my guy who taught me how to line hunt got me into it. Told me one time, he says, "You think your dogs?" He goes, one time, this was the old days. This guy, they had heavy hands back then. His dogs rigged on some deer. She seen the tracks. He said, "Man, I'd punish my dogs." And I was walking around the truck and looked down over those deer tracks. Was a lion.
No
A
shit.
lion had walked over those deer tracks. And he says, "Always check your tracks." I've always remembered that. Always check your tracks.
You know, I used to have
But
a dog that probably one of my number one rig dogs, and probably my favorite dog of all times ever. And this dog was a Cameron blue tick, and his name was Scooby. And this dog was probably the best dog I've ever owned, and I'll probably never own a dog like him. But that sucker would rig turkeys. It took me a long time to get him off of turkeys for some dang reason.
My
He was a
Andy
turkey
dog.
picker.
Yep. My Andy dog had a brilliant nose. You know what I mean? It's like a genius, but a genius that's on crack now. But he had a brilliant nose. He would rig, and I would watch my dirty dog and see what he did. If he looked away from him, like, I'd like, okay, I'm just going to keep going. One day he rigged and dirty rigged. And I'm like, I let him down 80 yards away in a tree. He had a porcupine.
Oh, yeah.
He had the greatest nose, but he was just so wound up. And, you know, there's just some dogs, man, that they're trashy. They're trashy. They'll chase anything. That's what they want to do, you know?
All right. You know, and everybody has a trashy dog at some point of their life. And, you know, I mean, and whenever they say they don't, that's the first time it's going to trash on you.
Exactly right. My dog never trashes. Boom, next day he's on a deer. You know?
How old is Dirty these days?
Oh, God, he's 9.
Does he still
I
hunt?
don't know. Oh, he was out there in those cliffs and his mother was 15. When she hit, I was running her when she was 14. That CC dog, that big old looking red tick. When she hit 15, I just would hold her back until we got a tree. Then I'd let her go to the tree. This is no lie. This dog never left my yard. This dog never slipped a collar. One day, she slipped her collar and left my yard. And that was the last day I ever seen her.
Really?
I believe she went off.
Died.
And died.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, because she would have been a hard one. I had a horse do that. I've had a horse walk off into nowhere and go under a tree and die.
Really?
I had to go find it. Yeah.
That's cool.
But, man, thank God, man. Even my sons are like, man, you know, and all my neighbors, if there's a hound within, I swear, 5 miles.
It's yours.
It's mine. I get a text like, is this your dog? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Back to those animal activists, man. It's very annoying. It's stupid. They're going off of I have no clue what they're going off besides that's a putty cat,
Well, most animal activists don't even know what the hell they're fighting for. They really
Nope.
don't.
They don't.
And it's all about. I call those guys blind believers. They believe something that someone told them, but they never did the research themselves. Because if to hear that what you read, people do eat mountain lion. Okay,
I
and
love mountain lion.
It's not just about the head or the or the fur.
No, bear in my house lasts 2 weeks. No lie, I can kill a bear in my house. This is what I used to tell my kids: eat that steak or whatever meat. And they're like, oh, I don't want it. I'm like, it's bear, whether it was or not. I tell them it's bear, and they would eat it.
I'll tell you what, people don't realize that bear's that good. Especially if you ground it up, makes the best burger there is.
Love bear. I love bear. I love bear. I make bear tamales. So
right.
I bottle it, for people. If they have a bear that didn't taste good, they probably just had a bad bear, just like a bad elk or a bad deer. I got an elk right now, Spike, that he had 2 slugs in his knee and 1 in his spine. And this was a spike. That means someone killed him the year before, tried to, when he was nothing. You know what I mean?
Probably mistaked him as a cow.
Maybe, but actually I shot him right from under Mr. Puddle. Game warden. Eric, he drove by and I drove by and I seen it and I blasted him. But yeah, and they were big, like 500 grain slugs, 2 in his elbow and 1 in his lodged right in his shoulder blade in his spine.
Was he muzzleloaders?
And Eric told me, huh?
Were they muzzleloader shots?
Yeah, 3B. I 3B killing fool. Yeah, right there off the golf course. But and that was a good coal, but he's a little musky.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hunt mountain lion, but it costs too much. It takes a lot,
It does cost a lot of money. My mountain lion hunts are expensive, but people don't realize how much effort goes into a mountain lion hunt. Gas, running all night long. You got, I hire, me and Chip, I hire a guy that if he cuts a track, and if it's a fresh track we catch it, I'll give him a track fee. And you have to do that to compete with other people. But, my main goal is to run a lion for a client that paid me good money. We're going to get you a damn lion. So, I got snowmobiles. I got mules. You got to ride canyons with a mule. It's a lot of damn work.
You keep talking about all that stuff right now. What people don't understand is what it took to make that dog a lion dog. Right. The dog food, the training, the gas, the parvo shots, the stitching up when they get into javelina. Like those dogs, if you don't have probably $5,000 in a dog in his life, just in dog food alone, and a little like stitching, so they don't understand all that stuff.
Man, I just bought a ton of dog food. A ton. Man, that stuff's gone outrageous.
Did you get that from Dave?
Yeah. Did you?
He never called me. I told him I wanted a ton. I told him I wanted a ton, and he never called me when it came in. So.
Well, I'm gonna start. Well, it hasn't came in. He took my check, but it hasn't came in yet.
Oh, I said, let me know what's up. He said he had a couple tons to sell, so I don't know if. Usually, I just go over there and give him some money.
I'm gonna start doing that myself. I'm gonna gather up, the local houndsmen, and the guy that does it is Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get rid of him, and I'm gonna do my own.
Are we going back to I'm not going to talk bad stuff about people on the internet right now?
No, I just, they got a group of guys and I know a whole different group of guys, so some of my friends get cut out of it because, they're not their group.
Yeah, no,
so
I get it.
So I'm going I'm gonna start doing it by the ton myself. I mean, by the 18-wheeler load. I think it's like 25 or 30,000 for a
Yeah.
truck. But you know what you do is you go to and you go to all the other houndsmen and say, hey, you want to do it? Pay up, and you get it paid up before they come.
Yeah.
You know.
He never got a hold of me, so I thought maybe he just had sold it all and didn't have enough.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that when he said that he was gonna sell it, if I wanted one, I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, I'll get with you with the money. And I gave him the money, and shit, that was 2.5 weeks ago. And he said, give me 10 days. But I mean, I'm sure the truck hasn't came yet because he would tell me.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he wanted to use my skidster to unload it. And I said, well, if I'm around, we can do it with my skidster. I don't care.
Yeah, that's that black gold stuff too.
Yeah,
Good
black
price.
gold.
Had a good price.
Uh,
I don't know. I just I feed my dog some cheap stuff, and I feed them a lot of meat. So when I butcher, I vacuum seal a lot of dog food. Even my old lady says, hey, I think we got more dog food in the freezer than we got hamburger meat now. So we need to, but we got a bunch of elk tags coming up. So
I'll tell you what, I used to feed that cheap stuff, and cheap stuff worked. When you start feeding the premium dog food like the black gold, you'll see a huge difference. It's unreal.
Yeah. I bought a
feed
ton.
You feed less.
Yep.
And
I bought a ton from him before. So.
Oh, have you?
Well, I feed my dogs a lot of meat though, raw meat.
Right.
So
yeah, that's good.
They do pretty good. If I get really spunky, I'll find chicken on sale or whatever, and then I mix it with rice. So I kind of make a dog food, and then I'll use that even cheaper dog food just as a filler. So
right.
keep their bellies full.
Right.
George. Who's talking here? Let me see. Do you all start new pups every year? At least every other year.
Or at least every other year.
Yeah.
Sure.
I had a litter right now, and it's 7 females. Not one male. Not one male. Yeah.
Wow.
So they're out of that. 4 weeks.
Oh, they're new. Brand new.
Yeah. Yeah, I just docked their tails a few weeks ago. So
going on back in the dock and the tail stuff. I'm not a big believer. I don't like that. I don't like the look of a dock tail. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
so I don't
you don't run.
my dog.
Yeah, I run in Choya, and
Right.
it's a big difference in that Choya. And honestly, on the rocks, you had your dogs hit their tails on them rocks and busting tails open.
Yeah, man, it's like a box sometimes, but not for the most part.
God, everywhere. No, I do. I think I'm the only one around here that kind of does it. There's a few other people, but most people know they're my dogs because I dock the tails.
Do you dock them big time or just barely the tip?
Probably about 5. I leave them about 5/8 long.
Huh.
So sometimes I get a little carried away. I've cut a couple too short. But
you got English pointers, huh?
Yeah, I like the tails that stick up out there in the grass.
Right. So most of your audience are houndsmen on here?
Yeah, most of them. Missy Fix runs beagles. She takes them rabbits. Yeah.
Where at?
Where you at, Missy? Oregon? Brett's on right now, and he does all that dry ground stuff.
Right.
He hates us bear hunters. Louisiana hunting. A lot of these guys do. George Lambert. His son is the George that was on Monday night that does the bear hunting, music and mules. And
I watched some of his film. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he has that little Jack Terrier looking heist or whatever.
That thing's pretty cool.
I tried to get Elizabeth to sell me one of hers at a discount, but man, I just can't pay $700 for a little dog.
I'm not a dog lover. It might sound crazy. I'm a houndsman, but I'm not a dog lover.
Yeah.
But if I ever was to get a dog, I want like a companion dog. I want a little Jack Terrier. I want a Jag.
Yeah.
Those are the coolest dogs on the planet.
Yeah, Elizabeth, she'll breed them. She has some in there, but I just Yeah, I just couldn't pay $700 for
He
a
won't even
dog.
give you a homie hookup or what?
And, she says she's broke all the time too. So I'm like, damn. I'm all, I don't. Do I get a poor boy? She's like, I'm a poor girl. So
Where's she live at now? California?
she went back to California. She's in her homeland, but she still hunts all over. You know, she goes up to Nevada, whatever you want to call it. I call it Nevada. But she goes up to Nevada and hunts. So, but she runs that. I think she runs. Do they run bobcat in California?
No, you can't hunt none of that shit.
Just raccoon.
Just raccoons.
Yeah.
That's it. No bobcats. No lions. No bears.
She goes out of state, but she's back home. I think she's a lot happier being
What
back
the hell
home.
made her go back there as a houndsman? Holy cow!
You know, she's native, so she got over there by where her native family is. So I think that's what makes her really happy. She's kind of back home where she grew up. Yeah, but
northern?
she's far from northern. She's far from a Californian. No, I guarantee that. And I tell you what, you know, as a woman hunter, she gets it. Her dogs are good dogs.
Not according to Jason.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I just put the throw that out there.
Yeah.
How much longer are you going to be on this?
I don't know. Usually I only go about an hour, so probably wrap it up here pretty right now.
Next time you're on, I'll make sure I have a vet.
Yeah, find one. I usually do it every Wednesday nights, and then we do the Monday night lives with everybody. Usually with Brett and George, and that's just kind of a big BS session. And so, but again, appreciate you coming on. Got you $110 tonight.
Hey, and I want, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everybody that listened and everybody that donated. And if you ever want to make a difference, or if you ever have anybody that you think that needs to just to have a shoulder to talk to, my phone number's on that on the website. Have them call me. I'm here 24 hours, 7 days a week, man. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Here we go. Let me throw your. This is Sportsmen for Heroes. Sportsmen for Heroes, and his email. Sportsmensforheroes.com. So, like I said, anybody does a super chat tonight, it's going to go to Sonny's Sportsmen for Heroes. So, thank Missy. Missy gave $50, and what is it? Louisiana Hunting. Ohio Hillbilly Woodworking gave $50, and Louisiana Hunting gave $10.
Thank you so much. And you know, like let's plan on next Wednesday.
Good times.
I'll have a vet at 5 o'clock every time.
Yeah.
I'll have a vet. I'll have a vet for next Wednesday.
Yeah. So
a vet.
Some of these guys on here are they're back east, so it's like 10 o'clock over there. 6, 7, 8, 9:30. So
I'll have a vet on here next
Wednesday. Definitely appreciate that.
And it's a vet that came with me one time on an elk hunt and a bear hunt, and now he's an ambassador, and he's a volunteer, and you can hear his perspective of what the foundation did for him.
That will work.
Heck yeah, man.
Thank you, Missy.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
No problem. Like the stories, like the information, like to talk shit about everything. So,
heck yeah, man.
All right, Sonny. I will get hold of you next week. We'll get a vet on. We'll get a vet on, and we'll make it happen.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, Sonny. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody listening. Sonny is a heck of a guest. So I've done some hunting with that guy. And he does some good work for the vets. And sounds good. Next week, we'll see if we can get a vet on and see what the vet says about it. So, Missy, I appreciate it. All you guys have to go back up here. Who was it? Let me go back up to my super chats here. Missy gave us $50 for the I passed it. For Sportsmen for Heroes, Louisiana Hunting gave us $10. And Ohio Hillbilly Woodworking gave us $50 for Sonny. So I will get that Zelled over to Sonny. And everybody says I'm doing a good job. I appreciate it. I'm not the best at this. My internet did good tonight. So, sure, awesome. Can't wait to hear from Yvette. All right, guys, I'm going to get in and probably help my wife crush up them prickly pear berries. Maybe I'll make a little video about how we made some stuff and show you how it's done. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Next Monday, we are going to be doing the Monday Night Live. I don't know who's hosting it, me, Brad, or Nicholas. And then Wednesday, kick on this free casting. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, whatever you want to do, and all these guys. And I will see you next Wednesday. You guys have a good night.